Here at but we're underway and it's already 1-0 here in favor of Blue Ridge. But this presentation is sponsored by Sholo Ford, and you can find us on italk107.com. Stream it now. We're live in progress.
Here we are in Sholo, Arizona for the last game of the season for both teams, Blue Ridge and Sholo. It's a very brusque evening, and it's a fast-paced game going on.
Very fast, very fast. We already had a goal in the 33rd minute there. It was about 35 yards out, free kick by Anthony Marquez there, a senior there. It was a nice kick, bounced off the goalpost a couple times and found its way in.
Ball's being moved down the field on the right side, cleared by number 4, Luis Navarro. Out of bounds with the throw-in by Gabe Arola. With a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass throw-in. Another throw-in.
You know, really, Blue Ridge has been pressuring all night. I feel like they have the favor in this one right now as far as pressure goes. They're keeping it upbeat.
No question, faster. Trapping's been excellent. Passing's been excellent. We've seen some absolutely, once again, fantastic pass right there.
There's a nice free kick, and he got it. Hey.
Goal.
A very quick play with a pass from the foreign exchange student.
Good luck pronouncing that last name, Paxman.
Louis Van Overscheid, who kicked it up the middle to Marquez, number 17, who brought it in one-on-one against the goalkeeper.
And, you know, we just talked about that, the fast pace, and here it is off a, not a throw-in, but, you know, a free kick and a beautiful lead pass, and really Tate had no chance.
Jordy Barth with the ball in the middle of the field, up to Taylor, and the goalie recovers the ball. Mr. Mason Burgess punts it out. Max McCrill heads it back to the middle. Connor.
A little bit of good acting right there.
I know the folks that just joined us that are not here at this game. Obviously, it seems like Blue Ridge is being more aggressive.
Well, this is the Blue Ridge Sholo rivalry, which we see in all sports, male and female. This is also the last game of the year and senior night for Sholo.
Correct, and really, conference championship is effectively on the line. Right now, Blue Ridge being number 1 in state, Sholo being number 3 in state.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic play.
Ball came across, the goalie jumped up into the air, but it was cleared by Gabe Areola, which was a goal-saving clear.
Right. And to continue on that, Blue Ridge has been undefeated. I'm not sure that they've had a goal scored on them in regular conference play.
Here's a corner kick for Blue Ridge. It's in the box. Nothing doing.
Blue Ridge has been scored on, and their head coach, Brian Crane, was not happy at that time.
Now, was that a non-conference game, Tom?
It was a conference game. Snowflake lost to Blue Ridge 5-1.
Leaf Brosman in the box.
Clear by Ray Lopez out to midfield.
Excellent trap, turn.
Up into the Sholo.
And a great shot. That really was a good effort. Not a lot of high school guys can turn in that direction, kick the opposite way. That was a outstanding play.
Was that number 10, Omar?
Still seemed a little ambitious to me. I mean, I know you're up 2-0, but still a little ambitious there.
Right. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they say.
True.
Substitutions, got Connor Anderson going for Jody Barth actually went over to the left wing.
Goal kick by the goalie up to Justin Goodman. Cleared out by number 4, Luis Navarro. Throw in again for Mountain Mobile Auto Glass.
Thank you. That was substitution for Tanner Marsh.
No, it feels like Sholo really needs to get some pressure. I mean, I haven't even seen him in the penalty box tonight. We haven't, I haven't seen much tonight.
The only time they got in the penalty box was on a corner kick.
Yeah.
I'd just point out to you guys, this guy actually looks like a German player. He is, he is aggressive. He's quick.
Right.
He goes to goal. I am very impressed. I hope his parents are listening at 2 in the morning over in Germany right now, or 3 in the morning, whatever it would be.
Once again, you can find us on iTalk 106.7 right now. Stream it.
Ball down to the left side. Number 13, Leif Brosman, crosses it to the middle, and a weak shot picked up by the goalie, Mr. Tate.
Looked like a little miscommunication there. Wanted to do something more than they should.
Now, Tom, you were were you in Germany or were you in the UK when you went on a mission?
I served my mission in Manchester, England, which is also part of Liverpool was in it as well. So I got to see a lot of football or soccer crazy fans. There's a breakaway down the right side.
Might be.
And
Cleared by Luis Navarro.
Looks like Sholo's ball.
Mr. Garrett Bateman has a lot of speed, and he has not been able to demonstrate that much this evening.
pretty neat story with Garrett. He's started since he's a freshman. Started out on defense, as I recall, at the number 2 spot or the right defending spot, and has progressed his way up this year to the front. We are missing a speed in the back, certainly, but it was as we have a breakaway.
Garrett's the kind of guy that can play any position.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
the whole Bateman family is known for their hustle, aggressiveness, and as we all know, that hustle can make up for a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and what was awesome last year to see was all 3 boys. We had a freshman and a sophomore and a senior all playing on the field at one time, and I know Justin Bateman was pretty impressed with that.
Shot by Alberto Marquez over the top of the goal. We now have a goal kick.
Yeah, now that was actually a pretty good shot. He was looking for the top left corner. I actually prefer that shot over the other one he took earlier. It's crazy things you can do with a soccer ball and spin it like that.
Knuckleballs, risers. Very
Right, it's anything you want. It's all how you place your foot on there. For those young kids listening out there, it's not how hard you can kick it. It's how you can control it.
Another ball over the top, but no one's there to receive it.
We're seeing a little bit more midfield play. This is, I think, partly due to just it seems like Blue Ridge has kind of slowed up perhaps a little bit.
Yes, it does almost look like they run out of gas, but one of Blue Ridge's big advantages that they have against almost any team is their depth.
Amazing, correct.
Just not in numbers, but also in skill.
So as I understand it, they had approximately 70 boys try out for boys soccer this year. As Leif Brosman takes another track down to the 18. He's got some help.
If we look to the left of the goal, there are 2 guys standing over there unmarked, number 10 and number 17, that Sholo's going to have to keep an eye on.
Right. And those are 2 of their top scorers. So most definitely.
You know, we talked about the depth of Blue Ridge, but do they come to a point to where they're comforted in 2-0 goal, lead, or are they going to sit back, or are we going to see some more pressure?
I've got to think that they will pressure. That's been kind of their. I'm sure Tom would agree with me on this, but that's been their modus operandi the entire year is attack, attack, attack. We've had multiple games that they've won 13-0, and it seems like that's when they shut down.
Well, some of their games that they've blown out their opposition, but quite often when they're playing a quality team like Sholo, they sometimes wait for a mistake and then counter.
So we had an offsides there, and then the Sholo player kicked it out of bounds, and now it's Blue Ridge ball now.
And across. That's where 6'2", 6'3" comes into play.
That's nice.
Jake Tate with the
And a boot
save
to go along
and
with it.
boot. That is
Wise.
cleared out of bounds by Luis Navarro. Garrett Bateman will turn the ball over to Gabe, number 10. Here comes the throw-in through Mountain Mobile Auto Glass.
And nothing doing off that throw.
Mason Burgess has the ball, clears it. Poor kick for him. Justin Goodman has the ball in the middle and too much on it and passes it out of bounds for another Mountain Mobile Auto Glass throw-in.
Hey, we may have an option here. Stiffied.
Clear by captain number 15, Jacob Billmere.
We'll have another Mountain Mobile Auto Glass throw in here for
That was a
Sholo.
willing run. I was impressed with that.
Okay, our foreign exchange student, Louis Bond Overshade, has the throw in for Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. Up to Leaf Brosman. Ray Lopez is on him, but Alberto Marquez makes a move and takes a shot right to the goalie, Jake Tate, who stops it for another save.
For you young guys out there, that is what happens when you kick directly in the middle of a goal. You've got to look for those side nets, and he had a freebie there. Lost opportunity.
You know, Marquez has really impressed me tonight. He's going to get the ball. He's making an effort and
Fast,
he's going
aggressive,
for it. Yeah, really aggressive. Even though that shot was center goal, I mean, he got there.
Right.
And that's the biggest part.
And I'm pretty sure that he was an all-state player last year, first team as I recall, maybe a second team.
Tanner Marsh comes back in. There's a throw in by Jordy Barth, number 23. Into the middle, looks like it's Justin Goodman, and it's cleared out of bounds by captain.
Sholo's playing a little bit compact right now.
It does seem like they've lost some energy.
Yeah.
They are so deep that they have the opportunity to sub more players, but sometimes they have a tendency to not as play their players that they could at times. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Sholo has substituted a lot more than Blue Ridge has up to this point.
We're just at about 15 minutes here left in the first half. Score stands 2-0 Blue Ridge.
Good luck talking to Crane.
Got a cold kick here from Sam Tate. I mean, one of the Tates, I'm sorry, not Sam.
Low ball gets up to midfield. Alberto Marquez forwards it up. There we go, clear. Mr. Von Overscheid clear, puts it up to Mr. Brosman. And cleared by Hunter.
Looks like we're going to have a handball here.
To Hunter Bateman. And again, we have Alberto Marquez, number 17.
Yep, that was a handball there for Sholo. We got a free kick here, and he was precision on the last one here. So let's see what happens.
Good save.
Once again, like Carter said, that 6'2" frame, man, that pays dividends right there.
Ooh. Goodman's normally pretty sure-footed, just had a little slip there. I suspect that grass is a little wet, as cold as it is tonight.
It is a little bit chilly tonight. I'm sure that ball's a little bit harder.
Good through ball.
Through ball from Connor Anderson, but too much on it for Ray Lopez to get to.
Right. I think, again, with this wet grass being cold, it is going to take them a few minutes to get adjusted to this. This is certainly different than I know what Blue Ridge is used to, playing on a very fast, short grass field. They've actually seemed to do very well tonight.
This is the best field in conference and the best field I've ever seen at this level of soccer, 3A or 2A.
There's a challenge there at midfield.
It's going to have a discussion with both of them, but anytime that elbow comes off the side and the other guy goes down, this is a pretty straightforward
It's going to be Sholo's ball.
I think Tanner Marsh is standing back to take the kick, but he should be moving forward and let one of his center backs.
You know, as a sophomore, he has really taken his game up to the next level. It's very, very impressive what he's been able to do in the past month in terms of improving. That kick has become golden. We've scored a couple goals off of his longer kicks.
Even though I criticized him staying back to take it, it was an excellent ball right into the middle of the pack.
Right.
Out of bounds. Another Mountain Mobile Autoglass throw in. Blue Ridge on the far side.
You know, I'd really like to see Sholo get a goal here before the half. We're about 12 minutes away from half here, and they need to pressure. They need to get something going here.
Right.
Even if it is a corner kick, I mean, they gotta get down there and cause some havoc.
Yeah, two goals is just it's a different feel. You get that one goal difference, and all of a sudden you're picking your game up. You're confident. You're moving. 2 goals, it feels like you're trying to get a weight off your shoulders at all times.
You still have time to save money on a season ski pass at Sunrise Park Resort. Go to sunriseskipark.com for details. That's sunriseskipark.com.
And a clearance. And unfortunately, those long balls like that just end up turning the ball over the other team, and just unfortunately somewhat of a waste of a kick and time. And you see that unfortunately a lot of
Good
high school
trap
level.
by Tanner Marsh. Gabe moves out from his right fullback position over to Ray, who puts it out to Mr. Marsh again, but the ball is off his foot and out of bounds.
Marsh just mishandled that. It might have been the pass, but trap and go off that point.
Goal!
Another one, the left foot.
Blue Ridge.
The weak foot from Mendoza again. This guy.
Their assist leader, Lee Brosman, number 13, crossed the ball to the center to Alberto Marquez, who finishes the ball off.
Marquez, excuse me.
And Blue Ridge is certainly looking like the #1 rating that they have well deserved.
Now we'll start with a kickoff. When it comes to time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona, Northland Pioneer College.
Keeping the legs fresh, we got sophomore Hunter Bateman substituting for sophomore Connor Anderson.
And like I said, that was off his weak foot. It didn't necessarily look like it was, you know, that strong of a kick. But I think the goalie got fooled there.
Right.
I think he got fooled. He was guessing.
It was great flair, though. Very impressive.
It was. I mean, anytime you can go off that weak foot, man.
Clearance by the goalie, Mason Burgess. Controlled by Justin Goodman out of bounds. Throwing again for Mountain Mobile Autoglass. A foul on number 10, Omar.
Called a direct kick. We'll see if they line this up quickly and go, or if they go for a lineup around the 6-yard line. And it looks like they're going to be patient. Tanner Marsh again, who again has just been absolutely fantastic at these crosses.
Okay, ball into about the top of the 18 and cleared by Sholo.
Jody Barth working hard.
Jordy Barth stole the ball. down the far right sideline and chased down by, I believe, is that Hunter
Taylor.
Bateman? I can't see from here.
That was Taylor.
Is that Taylor?
Taylor's already come along. Was on JV last year.
Offsides on Justin
Got an
Goodman.
offsides for Sholo there. That was going to be a good run, and unfortunately got caught offside there.
So Taylor moved up. He's a junior. Moved up from JV last year and has been just an absolute gem for Sholo. Quick. I would say probably the second fastest guy on the team. And I'm a little bit surprised to see him on defense tonight. I suspect they will move him up to striker before the end of the game.
Okay, Taylor got a hold of the ball, cleared it. Whoa, and a shot again, this time by number, I can't see, is that number 5 or 6? Jake Tate with the free kick here.
Well, that Blue Ridge defense has just proven stubborn tonight. Very impressive. Good flare. Oh, push from the back, not called.
Ball over to the right side to Tyler Zonker. Taylor clears the ball out to the Blue Ridge bench.
Kyle Blanchard, who defended that pretty well, has actually moved back from striker. He's suffering from shin splints, and it has most definitely affected his play this year, and moving him back has affected our offense.
I asked Coach Ellis who he has been the most impressed with their improvement this year, and Kyle Blanchard was one that he pulled out. There's a foul on Lee Brosman on number 4, Kyle Blanchard, making a run for the ball.
And Omar Esparza just had a nifty little, I don't even know, little toe kick there over the defender, and he worked it up, and unfortunately, his teammate committed a foul there, but, that was very nifty. That looked nice.
These players have played together in club soccer for 6 years, 5 years, something to that effect, and it really shows in terms of knowing where the next person's going to be and what they're capable of doing.
Not sure what that call is over on that side, but it's a Blue Ridge throw-in.
Oh, looks like a free kick here.
Oh, must have been a foul then. If that's a free kick, it's a foul.
Nice free kick into the box.
Dangerous.
Nothing doing.
Right in front and cleared by Gabe. Luis Navarro picks up the ball, puts it right back in, but it's over the goal. It'll be a free kick.
It's pretty hectic down there in the box for Blue Ridge and Sholo combined, but Sholo got out of it with a wide shot from the Blue Ridge player there.
Free kick from Jake Tate and off Blue Ridge for a throw in for Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. Jordy Barth taking the throw in.
Well, the ball's at midfield. We can switch to Robert Hummers on the sideline.
Is for sure is that it is super wet. The turf is real slick, and I see that a couple times when the players go to stop quickly, even with the cleats on, they're still sliding around a lot. You also have a lot of differences between the two coaches on the benches. Coach Ellis is very stoic. Don't hear a whole lot from him. Coach Crane is constantly yelling out and urging on his team. Even though they're up 3-0, you can tell they're not taking their foot off the accelerator anytime soon.
We were talking about that earlier, whether they would do that or not. Are you hearing anything specific off the sidelines?
Not really. Coach is just calling out general where they want kicks to go, things like that. But you've seen a lot of the substitutions on Sholo's side. It looks like they have a few more interchangeable parts than Blue Ridge specifically. But the one thing that is constant is Blue Ridge is doing a great job getting pressure and taking the ball away from Sholo in the midfield.
Right.
Well, these are two of the most intense coaches by far in our conference, but they demonstrate that intensity in different ways. Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center, with a fully staffed emergency department and advanced diagnostics department and outstanding orthopedic and physical therapy teams. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game.
Well, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that running. He is fast. I suspect there's a football coach or two out there that would love to see him join them.
Are we talking football?
No, football.
As in American football?
As we were talking about earlier with the 70 players trying out for soccer, I had understood that there were approximately 25 that tried out for Blue Ridge football team, which is just amazing to me.
Yeah, usually it's the opposite in years past. But even when I was in high school, you know, Blue Ridge was dominant even then, and you know they've kept up that legacy, and it's clear tonight.
I agree with both of you. I think Blue Ridge's soccer team here, if you look at the size of them, about half their team could easily play for the football team. So it's always a decision these young men have to make about which sport to play in during the season. However, there is more and more talk about a winter soccer season, which would free up a lot of these young men to play football, but might take them away from basketball or wrestling.
And how they're going to practice with snow on the ground. I think that's a legitimate concern that I've heard from Coach Ellis.
It's a legitimate concern, but there's schools over in Flagstaff that are already doing it. How they're doing it, I don't know.
Artificial turf does help.
But then when does it come to the point to where we're stressing these athletes too much?
Right.
When it's a full season long. It used to be, you know, you had literal seasons. You didn't have a year-long soccer season. You didn't have a year-long baseball season. When is it going to come to the point to where that, you know, I'm a firm believer in some time off. Like, get some time off. Have a summer. You're in high school. Let's have some, you know what I mean? So,
medically, I totally agree with you. In the old days, young men would play football, then basketball, then baseball, and their bodies were totally worn out by the end of the year. But unfortunately, because of the quality and intensity of a lot of these sports, they're having to specialize and sometimes only play one sport. And you're right, it's a year-round endeavor in order to be competitive.
Right, and then we have everything with club and everything. Don't get me wrong, I love the club stuff. I wish we would have had it when we were younger, but now it's been blown up, and hey, I don't discount them any means, but you know, your knees can only take so much, you know, everything like that. So,
well, we'll use
the only thing I think about.
Use baseball as an example. Oh, good run.
And gas.
So in baseball, we've had, for example, I believe 114 Tommy John surgeries out of shortstops across the country last year.
Wow.
I know. I just happened to read that on a good run by Goodman.
Goodman tried to tap himself and get around them.
To no avail for Goodman. It got stymied. And Blue Ridge once again clears it out.
Good job. Good pickup by Gabe Ariola.
Kept his discipline, though.
Yes, he did.
Made a good effort.
The German stopped him again. Slight touch out of bounds by Tanner Marsh.
You know, looks like Blue Ridge is pushing. 30 seconds left here in the half. Let's see if anybody can make something happen.
In the last minute or two, you're absolutely right. The intensity has increased up, and somebody wants to get a goal before the end of the half.
Yeah, you would expect this to be fading, but they're not fading. Both teams are picked it up actually a little bit.
Ray Lopez on the right side against Lewis Overside, Von Overside.
Pulled down from
foul.
behind.
Pulled down, grabbed by the shoulder, and put down. That's
wow.
Wow. That's
we
an interesting call.
It's a replay on that one. There's time has ran out. Apparently they're going to let them finish it. No, they did not. Interesting. Well, an interesting half. I don't think anybody expected a 3-0 game We're going to take a minute and try to visit with one of the coaches down at the sideline with Robert. And in the meantime, no question, there was just a lot more speed. There was a lot more aggression. We're going to take a second to go to commercial break and be right back with those sideline interviews.
This is high school football.
In today's challenging economy, having a college education is a must. Northland Pioneer College is here to help you prepare for your future. NPC is committed to providing you with the highest quality education with the lowest tuition cost in the state. We offer a variety of advanced learning classes to prepare you for a transfer or associate's degree, personal interest education, or earning your GED.
Contact an academic advisor for more information. Go online at npc.edu.
It's easy to see why the Ford F-150 is the #1 selling truck in America. For more than 40 years, no other truck has even come close. And Sholo Ford is hands down the best place to buy your next vehicle. Just take a look at Guy Hatch's promise. He won't be beat on any deal on any new Ford in the state of Arizona. And on top of that, you'll get a lifetime engine warranty. Go to SholoFord.com or visit them on the east end of the Deuce. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center is a proud supporter of high school sports. Many of our local sports players were born at the hospital, where Summit Obstetrics offers comfortable individual rooms for mom and baby. In case of a sports injury, the hospital ER is always staffed and prepared to take on the most serious injuries, and Summit features an advanced diagnostics department with state-of-the-art equipment. The Summit Healthcare orthopedic and therapy teams can help sports players overcome injuries and return to the game. Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center wishes all players a successful and healthy season this year. When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass has the most experienced technicians on the mountain. Their lead technicians have a minimum 10 years experience. They're certified and trained annually, and they gladly welcome Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, Infiniti, Jaguar. So no matter what your car is, you can trust that your glass will be done correctly when you call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. Now with 2 locations in Lakeside and Snowflake.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school soccer on iTalk1067.com. We'd also like to acknowledge Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center with a fully staffed emergency department, advanced diagnostic department, and outstanding orthopedic and physical therapy teams. The Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. Ace Hardware has 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware, your helpful place with 3 locations, Pinetop, Overguard, and Sholo.
And next up we have Mr. Ray Del Torre.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, Ace Hardware in Pinetop, Heber and Sholo, Sunrise Park Resort, Northland Pioneer College, Summit Regional Medical Center, Beeler Orthodontics, Subway, Deemer's Glass, the Indian Pine Restaurant at Honda, Octopus Car Wash, Black Diamond Auto Glass, and Native Grill and Wings.
Jake Tate, his parents Kenny and Jason Tate.
So no injuries the first half. That's always good. We have a little bit of a depleted lineup on the Sholo side, so I'm sure they're very glad. Blue Ridge being a little deeper, it certainly has shown. So we had a goal at the, 30?
Well, from what I'm used to, 33rd minute.
Right, which would be technically a
17th minute. Yeah, for a 40-second or 40-minute halves here, and that was by Mendoza. I mean, he's killing it right now. Really, I mean, he's being aggressive. He's going to the ball. I mean, obviously that's what an attacker does. But he's shown a lot tonight. That grit, that determination. And he can smell the goals.
Right.
And it's obvious he already has 2.
And
if not 3, does he have a hat trick? I think he only has 2 for right now. But he's going to be looking for that hat trick.
Absolutely. So as you can see, we have senior night tonight. Most of these guys have been on the team a solid 4 years. A couple of them came, I believe one came over from football, but for the most part, very tight group, straight A students, almost to a person. We've got one that's going off to the military, Jody Barth, looking at going overseas and apparently doing some type of communications, learning a new language. I know one of them, Kyle Blanchard, is a 4.2 student and is going to be looking at going to an Ivy League school, I think, or something to that effect after his mission. So,
and you know, Carter, that's, if you want to get it to the next level, I've been at the next level.
Right.
But it was on baseball side of things. I got to that next level because I was a student athlete. I know that's been driven into the kids. I know that's been around. It's a cliche, but a student athlete. You have to be a student first, and that paid for my college, man. You know, I came out of college debt-free because I was a good student. Every coach asked me, no matter where I was getting recruited from, it was always, what's your grades?
Good lesson.
Your transcripts.
Good lesson for those kids, right?
They didn't care if I hit 500. Right. No, let me see your grades. Let's see how we can get some money to you. And we'll go from there. So that is great to hear from the Sholo side of things, you know. And I'm sure there's definitely a lot of scholars on the Blue Ridge side as well.
Let's catch that on the back side of the break. We'll take a quick commercial break. And you are listening to the broadcast of the Sholo Blue Ridge soccer game, brought to you by Sholo Ford and iTalk 106.7. Don't forget, you can stream this live on your video.
In today's challenging economy, having a college education is a must. Northland Pioneer College is here to help you prepare for your future. NPC is committed to providing you with the highest quality education with the lowest tuition cost in the state. We offer a variety of advanced learning classes to prepare you for a transfer or associate's degree, personal interest education, or earning your GED.
Contact an academic advisor for more information. Go online at npc.edu.
It's easy to see why the Ford F-150 is the #1 selling truck in America. For more than 40 years, no other truck has even come close. And Sholo Ford is hands down the best place to buy your next vehicle. Just take a look at Guy Hatch's promise. He won't be beat on any deal on any new Ford in the state of Arizona. And on top of that, you'll get a lifetime engine warranty. Go to SholoFord.com or visit them on the east end of the Deuce. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center is a proud supporter of high school sports. Many of our local sports players were born at the hospital, where Summit Obstetrics offers comfortable individual rooms for mom and baby. In case of a sports injury, the hospital ER is always staffed and prepared to take on the most serious injuries, and Summit features an advanced diagnostics department with state-of-the-art equipment. The Summit Healthcare orthopedic and therapy teams can help sports players overcome injuries and return to the game. Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center wishes all players a successful and healthy season this year. When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass has the most experienced technicians on the mountain. Their lead technicians have a minimum 10 years experience. They're certified and trained annually, and they gladly welcome Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, Infiniti, Jaguar. So no matter what your car is, you can trust that your glass will be done correctly when you call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. Now with 2 locations in Lakeside and Snowflake.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
White Mountains, welcome back to the Sholo Ford presentation of high school soccer. It's presented by italk1067.com. Find us there, stream us there. You can see this game, you can see it live. Hey man, it's a great night. It's a little crispy, but we're back here, action live in Sholo. What a great field. I mean, we got Carter here. Everything's good, man.
Right, and I'll tell you what, it is getting more and more brisk. It's unfortunate we're not hearing the elk in the background. We heard the geese earlier.
We got some bulas.
Right.
Fujuzas, or how do you pronounce that? I can hear it in the background.
After the game, head to Native Grill and Wings for the best wings, pizza, and burgers on the mountain. That's Native Grill and Wings on the west end of the Deuce.
And I'll tell you what, they got some good wings. I unfortunately have come out of there more full than I intended, certainly.
Every Tuesday is wing in or bone in wing day, and I head there every Tuesday and pick from about 20 to 25 flavors, and it's a great time there.
Well, you're welcome to buy for me next time I run over there. And I want to remind the family that's out of town that the camera does add 44.3 pounds to all of us, except for Clay. For some reason, it took weight off of him.
We'd also like to thank Beeler Orthodontics. Live to smile, love your smile, Beeler Orthodontics.
Both my kids went there. They were fantastic. Dr. Beeler, you cannot find a nicer guy than him.
Nice guy, professional guy, does a good job, and everybody's happy with his work.
Yeah, my deficit with him is the fact that his kid plays football instead of soccer, right?
Well,
are we working on that?
We can't all be perfect.
Right. Short of that. So we had the Summit Healthcare Regional kickoff.
With a fully staffed emergency department and an advanced diagnostics department and an outstanding orthopedic and physical therapy teams, Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to keep you back in the game. We have kickoff for the second half. When it comes time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona, Northland Pioneer College.
You know, as we kick off here, it's going to be interesting to see what, obviously, both adjustments teams made here. I'd like to see, I mean, Sholo needs the pressure, but at the same time, they're getting stifled by the Blue Ridge D. There's a through ball for Blue Ridge and offsides.
So again, we have a throw-in for Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. Actually, not a throw-in, we have a free kick. I think we got called for an offsides. We have a boot up the middle. Garrett Bateman gets a touch. Jody Barth is going to run it down, but Macy's Burgess is going to wait for it and ready for a punt here.
Now, I am not sure, but it appears to me they've thrown in a stopper. They've gone to a 4-3-2-1. Or I'm sorry, 4-3-2-1, I'm thinking. They moved Kyle Blanchard up, looking to get some more offense. Connor Anderson on the... That was Connor Anderson on the header. So we just got word from Robert that he is ready to interview our coaches for halftime thoughts and adjustments. So we'll go to Robert.
Well, unfortunately, Robert, he wasn't be able to get with us. He'll get with us in a second here. We're still underway in the second half, 3 minutes in.
We're in the middle of the field now with the ball down to the left side with Omar Esparza. Ball out of bounds and another throw in for Mountain Mobile Auto Glass.
That was a nice settle and trap by Tanner Marsh. Excellent turn.
Need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
And we finally got Robert. Just as we have a break for Sholo down to the 18. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey guys, I got to talk to both coaches at the half. Talked to Coach for Sholo, and his message to his team was attack. Don't worry about trying to save any goals. You're already down 3-0. Doesn't matter if the game ends at 10-0, 4-0, whatever it happens to be. But they want to get in the net. So I think we're going to see a lot more attacking, pressing from Sholo here in the second half. That was his message. And Coach Crane from Blue Ridge said they're not changing who they are. They're going to keep doing what they do. If this is a playoff game, it might be a situation where they could try to lay back and protect the lead, but they're just going to keep playing how they have been. And so we're going to see attacking on both sides, which should be very, very fun to watch.
Well, I'll tell you that it's starting to show. I don't know if you noticed, we had effectively 2 defenders back and we had 8 forward on that last run. So they're certainly trying to press from a Sholo side.
Ball out on the near sideline off Jordy Barth.
A couple of minutes ago there, it looked like there could have been a handball called on Blue Ridge. Was not called, and now Blue Ridge has it in Sholo territory.
You can really see the rotation. Blue Ridge's Forsyth, number 14, has gone up almost halfway up to that 18-yard mark on several occasions now.
You're listening to high school soccer presented by Sholo Ford on iTalk 106.7, KNKI, Pine Top, Sholo, and 102.5 in Pine Top.
Leif Bronson, fancy footwork. Keeps his body between the ball and the defender very well. Excellent cross, not marked. And this is what I would normally expect to see, and that with a typical defense, that would have been an excellent run, but Blue Ridge has just got an upper level defense that no other teams really have in this state. Chena would be close.
Subway, every day get a different 6-inch sub for $30.50 at Subway restaurants. Participation may vary. Additional charge for extras and deluxe, plus tax where applicable.
You know, Tom Carter, it still seems like to me that Blue Ridge is just, I mean, really dominating. I know it's early in the half, but I feel like the possession has just gone Blue Ridge's way. I mean, Sholo really hasn't even had anything, no moments, no flabbergasted, nothing like that to really make you jump out of your seat.
Well, I think they've owned the midfield. Their trapping passing has just been better. Most of the passes, that was a rare one right there where it was bouncing, but for the most part, they've been rolling, very controllable. When they do have bouncing balls or air balls in some fashion, they've been well chested down. They just play at another level of soccer.
That's why they're the #1 rated team in state.
Right. And that, I mean, when you have, what do we say, 70, you say 70 people come out for this team? You're going to find a good crop of soccer players. You're going to fill a team that is willing to work and do what is necessary.
Let's talk about some of these Blue Ridge ties. Going back with Coach Breckenridge, do you remember the years, Tom?
Oh, Coach Breckenridge's first year was 1998, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting side note, the coach before him is the present Sholo coach, Chris Ellis.
And as I understand it, he was Breckenridge was an assistant coach to Coach Ellis. Came out of the club program and was trained in that fashion. But the run that they made was amazing. I know when Clay was in high school, I think it was just finishing up. And of course, Clay's old now, so that was a number of years ago.
I mean, what I remember, it didn't matter. We might have a little run here. No.
Much more aggressive. This is more what we've seen in the past from Sholo.
And that's good soccer right there. It's aggressive. You're going to get the ball right there. So when I was they absolutely dominated, to really say the least. It was they won everything in soccer.
For the fans out there that are online and are not quite familiar, Blue Ridge had a run of, if I recall correctly, 6 or 7 state championships in a row.
Yeah,
3, 4.
Silly. A dynasty.
They were a dynasty. I think you can compare the Blue Ridge coaches' records to any football coach records in the state of Arizona. I think both Coach Crane and his predecessor, Coach Breckenridge, were definitely both over 90%. The last 3 years, though, Blue Ridge has been stifled and lost in the state championship to Chino Valley. And so their goal this year is to take the whole thing. That is their one goal, is to take state away from Chino.
And they continue to play like this. Be hard-pressed to say that they will find anybody that can beat them at state level.
There was a tournament down in Tucson on the first Friday of October.
Yeah, I was there.
And Blue Ridge played Chino and ended up winning 2-1. And the cheers then went up when they won. You would have thought they had won state.
Well, to them, it might have been state since, getting beat up by them so many times.
Well, they were definitely motivated, and I think they're taking that motivation to the state playoffs.
That was a boot there.
Right now, Blue Ridge is 1 and Chino's 2, and so if they make it to the end, they won't see each other till the championship game. Right now, Sholo is ranked number 3.
You know, there is time for Sholo here. They just got to get some work in here. They're looking for those long passes, but they're getting cut off. There's one there, but to no avail.
Unfortunately, I think if they would have played it like this in the first half, we wouldn't be looking at this 3-0 score.
I think you're correct.
So on that note, though, Blue Ridge ended up, I know at one time, Tom, that they were ranked in the top 15 in the country, as I recall, and that's despite graduating classes of, I don't know, what, 100 plus minus?
Yes, they've had.
Great turning shot.
Great turning shot by Alberto Marquez. Jake Tate got his hand on it, but the shot was too strong to be able to be stopped and got into the back of the net.
I feel like the player was offsides there. That play should have been stopped. From our vantage point, it looked like it was a clear offsides. I held my hands up. Either way, you still got to make the goal. Tate got a hand on it, and that goal is sponsored by Black Diamond Auto Glass. They're always coming through. So hey, it's 4-0 here.
I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like taking my hat off and throwing in for the hat trick, a little a la hockey.
I think that was a hat trick.
Right.
Yes, it is now. Northland Pioneer College, when it comes to kickoff, your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona.
He's had himself a night. So speaking of playoffs and playoff potential, I know I spoke with Coach Ellis earlier, and he did not seem very a good run.
Another save by Jake Tate.
He didn't seem very excited about playing on turf when all the northern teams seem to be playing on grass, and they play a state championship in turf.
Well, it is. It's an interesting field. They have the biggest sprinklers I have ever seen that they turn on before the game and at halftime just to cool off that artificial turf because it's so hot, even that first week in November. But the ball plays different. It bounces more, it runs faster, and unless you're used to it, it can be a big problem for a lot of teams.
Well, in watching the playoffs last year, Sholo being in the semifinals, Blue Ridge beating them, Blue Ridge going on to state championship game against Chino and eventually losing out to state champion Chino. I will say, I think Chino and Blue Ridge are better suited. They seem to handle the ball better on the bounces, a lot better chest trapping. They do a lot better forwarding with their headers.
Great turn by Kyle Blanchard, but unfortunately there was two Blue Ridge defenders to cut him off.
Every time you bring up the turf and how hot it is, they sprinkle it. I remember playing on turf, and I mean, this was in American football, but they would literally melt cleats. So.
Yes, we have actually seen that too, which is still remarkable even in November. I think there was a year or two he played the state championship at Mason Community College. 27 minutes left in the second half. Blue Ridge up 4-0.
Looks like Blue Ridge is going to start doing some subbing. They've got appears to be 3 on the sideline.
Even though they have the deeper team, they don't sub near as much as almost anybody else.
I mean, at the same time, it is getting late in the season. You want to keep that pack together. You want to keep your first teamers in there as much as you can. Get that flow going too. So I understand that, but it never hurts to give some people some rest either.
Well, that's what Coach Crane thinks. He wants to keep his, his best 11, starting 11 on the field and keep the flow of the game going. However, sometimes, these guys are playing hard, fast, aggressive.
Nice heel kick.
And
shot on goal.
Almost.
That really could have been called. He's in the process of taking a shot. He takes it off the ankle.
You're looking for a penalty there?
Maybe.
What is the ref calling?
I don't think a person could have disagreed with it had it been called.
No, it looks like we have a goal kick. Well, corner
kick
for Sholo. All right, let's see if Sholo Cougars can get something working here.
I'm not sure. Did it go out, or is this a makeup call for a fail to call a foul in the box?
Or the offsides, I think you meant.
Yeah, I mean,
or outside.
Clearly that fourth goal, I thought he was offsides, but, it's neither here nor there. So we'll see what this corner kick brings us.
Hey, what's up?
Okay.
If it's hurting, just don't play it.
Need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASSMAN. Last shot was made by Justin Goodman. We got a foul here.
Unfortunately, again, another shot by Sholo that was, center goal. At a certain point, you got to be able to pinpoint something. This late in the season, you should have that homed in. He was a little under distress, but at the same time.
And in all fairness, I know Goodman's been playing defender for the most part this year and has not gotten a lot of shots on goal subsequently. Speed has definitely picked up. The aggression has picked up. Again, had it been this way that first half, I think we'd see a different game. Can't stress that enough.
I think Sholo's picked up their aggressiveness. I wonder if Blue Ridge is letting down a little bit, or because of the lack of substitutions, they're getting a little bit winded.
Right.
When we go down for these playoffs down to the valley, our teams definitely from the mountain seem to have the wind.
Fast counter.
But they do not handle the heat as well as the teams that come from the lower altitudes.
Yeah, I think Chino gets a big advantage on that.
Oh,
and a
great save by Jake.
Jake comes out of net there. Probably saved a goal.
Jake just started playing this year. He's a converted basketball player and actually an outstanding baseball player on top of it. But they saw his hand-eye coordination in baseball. They saw his size, his ability to jump, and said, this is a kid we can convert. And we have a very good sophomore keeper in Roper Howard, but they brought him on board thinking that they would have 2 guys. Yeah, he's not quite 6'2".
Okay.
But it was an amazing transition, and you can see that was pretty natural instinct to attack like that.
Show's working here.
Crossed by Jordy Barth over to Connor Anderson, and a foul.
Let's see what we have here. A little discussion. Looks like a free kick for Sholo.
It's a direct kick. They speed it up. They can kick right now.
Got a free kick here by Justin Goodman. Right about 20 yards outside the box. 10 yards away is the wall. Ooh.
Oh, an own goal.
Yes!
That's an own goal right there. That looked like an own goal.
Justin Goodman kicks it over the net, over the wall, into the hands of the goalie who bobbled it, and then put home by...
Boy, I think it was Gabe, but I'm not sure.
So...
It possibly could have been Garrett Bateman.
Garrett Bateman puts it home.
Unfortunately,
we'll give it to Bateman, but it looked like to me that Navarro for Blue Ridge kind of tapped it in. A little own goal there.
Could be.
But either way, it's 4-1 here.
Excellent chip there. Well, we'll see if that lights some fires and gets them a little more excited.
As we pointed out earlier, Blue Ridge has been rarely scored upon, so this can put a little fire into Sholo to try to get this game evened, but it might also put some more fire into Blue Ridge because they're not happy when they get scored on.
An offsides play. It's unusual. Burgess has got just fantastic hands. It's surprising to see him bobble a ball. I'm not sure how many goals he's given up on the season, but including in tournaments, I can't imagine it's more than 1 or 2 the entire season. All-state level player.
Yes.
And he's got another year left, I believe, a junior.
He does, and he's an excellent basketball player.
And we're seeing a trend.
Well, I tell you what, Tate has a boot from the keep. He can punt that ball.
It's amazing to think of this. He has not played much soccer. Came into AYSO and had to quit as somewhere in junior high where he broke an ankle or had some form of an injury that stopped him from playing. Never played again. It's just hard to believe he can develop the mechanical skills to kick that hard in such a short amount of time.
Throw in by Connor Anderson, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass throw in. You still have time to save money on a season ski pass at Sunrise Park Resort. Go to sunriseskipark.com for details. That's sunriseskipark.com.
Tom, are you a skier?
I'm not that coordinated.
I would have predicted you were a good skier.
I have to stay and work so my wife and family can go.
Oh.
A little collision there.
Anderson took an elbow to the head.
I feel like that's a good call.
One more opportunity, you bet.
Looks like Ryan Hall's committed that foul there, and it was. Elbow was high. That's a good call there.
Okay, we got another free kick by Goodman, and pushed over the top of the goal by Mason Burgess. Corner kick.
And once again, Burgess proves stubborn. He is a tough keeper.
Need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Called 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Corner in.
Oh.
Nothing doing. Went by everybody.
Gabe takes the corner, number 10. A good cross right in front of the goal, but failed to connect.
We're going to go to the sideline for Robert Hummer, who's got some updates for us from Coach Crane.
At halftime, I asked Coach Crane to highlight a few of his players, specifically who have been having a major impact. And obviously the top goal scorer for the team, Marquez, who also has a hat trick tonight. He says probably one of the best finishers that they've had at Blue Ridge, and with all the success that they've had in soccer, that really means a lot. We also wanted to give a lot of credit to Leif Brosman. He says that he's probably one of the better holding forwards that he's also seen, and that opens up a lot of opportunities for Marquez, and that as a tandem that they work very well together.
Well, I'll tell you, as long as Crane has been around that program, for him to say one of the top finishers and one of the top midfielders he's seen, to have them both on one team just goes to show you the quality of the team. Thanks, Robert.
You're listening to High School Soccer presented by Sholo Ford on iTalk 106.7 KNKI, Pine Top, Sholo, and 102.5 in Pine Top.
You know who we're missing today is the Double B, Byron Brown.
Byron Brown.
Ace Hardware.
My man.
We talked with him about perhaps doing some sideline or even doing some announcing tonight, and I think he had a few other items going on.
Hey, he's a busy man.
He is a busy man. I was just in Ace Hardware today. Love that store.
I go to Ace and Payson. I don't know if he owns that one.
No, he doesn't.
Hey,
I think
that's my stop.
As I recall, they've got Sholo, Pine Top, Globe, and Heber.
Okay.
And, you know, you walk from one store to another, and they got different layouts, but the people are all the same. They just work hard.
And extremely helpful. That's your hometown hardware store. Ace Hardware has 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware. Your helpful place with 3 locations, Pine Top, Overgard, and Sholo.
Just under 20 minutes here remaining in this ball game. Still 4-1 Blue Ridge.
You know, I don't know how much of this is a change in positions or if it's a change in personnel and specific positions. But we've got effectively a 1-1, or is it a 1-0 second half here? And maybe part of it is just the fact Sholo's playing so many sophomores. They're just finally getting their footing and comfort zone. Regardless, we're definitely seeing a change, a lot more equal play here.
Yes, it's a more competitive game right now. It's interesting, Garrett Bateman playing the left forward came back all the way back to help some defense and moving forward now. We have a goal kick by Jake Tate up the middle.
I wasn't sure if he was injured there or
I think he
just disappointed himself.
Either disappointed or he felt guilt with a handball. Another handball missed.
And for those not aware, you're not allowed to kick the ball when you're laying on the ground. So that's a pretty basic thing, and I'm a little surprised at that, quite frankly. Oh, we got Ray Delatorre out. Ray, we don't see often.
Fancy footwork there.
And he's a senior who just worked and worked and worked and was able to get himself onto the varsity squad. But here's the best part about Mr. Delatorre. His parents own Alberto's.
Okay.
Arizona burrito.
All right.
Is it getting any better?
I prefer the, steak burrito.
Okay.
That's my,
Oh, fantastic run, and there shows his speed.
Breakaway by Mark. Goalie came out, run around him, and the goalie gets it back.
You know, that was just an all-around great effort by both players. Fantastic.
And that's what you like to see, even though you're up 4-1. I mean, you're still on the gas pedal. Sholo hasn't given up either. This is even though the score doesn't reflect necessarily the competition we've seen tonight. It's been a great game.
After the game, head to Native Grill and Wings for the best wings, pizza, and burgers on the mountain. That's Native Grill and Wings on the west end of the Deuce of Clubs.
Tom, you're making me hungry.
I'm going someplace after this. Might as well be Native.
Well, those 40 pounds, like I was saying, they're well deserved.
Well, not for me.
Nice.
Pizza, wings, calzones, they're all good.
Right.
Black Diamond Auto Glass, one of our favorite sponsors.
Pulled down from behind.
It's on Mendoza.
It always looks a little different when you've got a guy who's given up 40 pounds and they get pulled down. You're just never really sure if it was a legitimate call or if it just was the other guy was flat out smaller.
Mr. Tate needs to work on his goal kicks. Got to get some little bit more air on them.
That's been unusual. For the most part for the season, he's been fantastic with them.
Yeah, for the most part, what I've seen tonight is, I mean, they've been some boots, but yeah, just caught it wrong there. And could be, and once see, that guy slipped right there, and the pitch is a little wet, so having a little factor.
I think it's probably has, because of the temperature, it's a little slick because maybe some ice crystals on the field as well.
Good challenge there, and now they call the penalty.
Max McCrill on defense on the far.
It's going to go to Blue Ridge.
So I just got word from the sidelines, and that was indeed Mr. Burgess's first goal, first conference goal given up, non-tournament goal. The kid's amazing. That's fantastic.
Good for him. Good free kick.
You're right.
Corner in.
Okay, Jordy up in the air trying to get the ball out of the middle and cleared by Max McCrill up to Garrett Bateman. And we have another Sholo foul on Gabe here.
Looks like a handball. Fans are getting a little chippy.
Well, I can kind of agree with them. I've seen 3 or 4 handballs tonight. That was the first one called.
Boy, and there's Goodman's speed. He can just tear it up when he chooses to.
And hustle even at this late minute of the game.
Sophomore Sean Douglas.
The player of the game is brought to you by Honda Outdoor Ski Sports and Store. For the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to the Honda Outdoor Ski Sports Store, south of Pine Top on Highway 260.
And Blue Ridge just attacking, swarming almost.
Right. Well, they certainly know how to cover up the spaces when they get the ball back by their 18. You see alternating almost a zigzag fashion. Not quite, as they say, parking the bus, because they certainly expand when they go down. They don't play low pressure soccer, but do a fantastic job plugging that up.
Slight delay for substitutions. There's a throw in for Mountain Mobile Auto Glass.
Tom, who's your favorite team?
Well, that depends on at what level would you like.
Well, we're going to probably go Premier, but let's just go with any international team.
My favorite team by far is Man United.
So they used to be my favorite team until George Soros bought them out. True story. I had not quite a literal, but more of a figurative burning of all my Man U shirts, etc.
Well, I understand your thought. That was my thought with the Dallas Cowboys when Jerry Jones bought them.
Jerry who?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, how about that Dak Prescott?
Very interesting. Very
Romo's done.
I think they should keep him. I think they should bench Tony Romo.
Romo's done. I agree. He's done. Me, on the other hand, I'm a Liverpool.
Okay.
I like Liverpool.
All right.
They're my team. Watch them. Maybe because they were on a special on like Fox Sports 1, but you know.
We would walk down the streets of Manchester and kids would say to us, "Who do you support?" And if you said the wrong team, they would try to beat you up.
Oh, you're getting brawled down there.
They would be wearing their blue and white or their red and white colors, showing their support of their team.
I mean, it could be called a religion on the other side of the pond.
Could be.
America, okay, it is a religion on the other side of the pond.
They do it. It is a religion in most of the other countries of the world.
And Blue Ridge fans rightly upset. That was a legitimate throwdown on Garrett Bateman's part. A little frustration breaking through is my guess.
I mean, we're still playing hard here. Once again, another rivalry. It doesn't matter what sport it is. Blue Ridge Sholo it will always be the rivalry.
Totally true. If one team is at the top of the rankings and the other team is at the bottom, it's always going to be a good game, no matter what sport it is.
Well, one thing we should do is make a shout out to the Cowbell Nation that's here tonight. They come consistently for football games. They've come for soccer. They are some of the best fans on the mountain. You guys have probably been able to hear them in the background with the microphones. Rob, who's your favorite team? I didn't hear from you.
It's Everton. That's why I booed Liverpool in you guys' ears not too long ago.
Yeah.
I'm an Everton fan since I got into Premier League, sporting the Everton jacket right now. That's picked those guys up when Tim Howard first went there and followed his career through that, legendary U.S. goalkeeper. So I'm all about the Blues.
They're doing very well this year in the EPL so far.
Oh, yeah, this is probably the best start I can remember them having. They've been in the top part of the table for most of the beginning of the year, so hopefully they can keep that momentum going. They got a great striker right now who's putting a lot of pressure on the rest of the league. So
how do you feel about Tim not playing at the top level now? Of course, getting a few years on him, but it seems like he has not got much of a shot, it looks like, playing keeper for the U.S. national men's team.
Yeah, I think the national team's probably going to be moving on from him. Interesting thing, yeah, he's not at the top level. He's playing for Colorado and MLS right now.
I was going to say, isn't he like 57 years old or something like that?
But he moves like he's 27.
Okay, well, that's all that matters.
He is a physical specimen. I have no idea what he does to stay in the kind of shape he does, but he is amazing.
Fantastic to watch, and in goal for U.S., it's going to be hard for them to replace him.
So who would you go with for your starting keeper on the men's team?
Right now, it's hard to tell. I mean, I'm a Real Salt Lake fan, so I'm a huge fan of their keeper. He's a shorter guy, but man, he gets the job done. He does well in penalty shootouts and stuff. So honestly, right now, no one stands out to me. I think it's kind of a wash.
Right.
Isn't that Nick Raimondo from Salt Lake?
Yeah, that's Raimondo. I couldn't remember his last name.
And I would say, Guzman's been okay.
Yeah, Guzman's not terrible. I mean, he plays EPL, or played EPL most recently, and he's done pretty well in net. U.S. problem has always been keeping midfield.
Problem is, I see for the goalkeepers is Raimondo is getting older. He's even older than Howard, and Guzman's a couple of years younger than Howard. I think they need to find one of these older guys to perhaps help train and develop some of these younger keepers that they have in the stable, but don't get much of a chance to play.
Well, it doesn't matter what. Once again, any sport, you have that veteran leadership. You hear, I mean, the baseball playoffs are going on right now that I'm following closely, obviously. But they talk about the veterans. The football teams, they talk about the veterans and the leadership. So it should correlate to any really sport. So that's what they need.
As we watch the game here, we're seeing some of the substitutes in for Blue Ridge right now. Excellent cross with a lot of power across the mouth of the goal. A shot taken.
Blocked by Connor Anderson. So what's your guys' feelings on the two young guys? You've got some impressive talent, and the question is, do you develop them? Take a few lumps during the next year or so until World Cup, or do you let them mature another year or two?
My feeling is develop the younger players as much as you can. I think like Beckerman out of Salt Lake, they're playing him. I think they needed to give up on him a year ago and develop some of these younger people. If you look at the other teams around the world, the World Cup is a young man's game. A lot of the older players don't play. They play a lot of the younger players in the World Cup, and I think we should develop some of our younger players.
I'm just not convinced that Woods is there yet.
Well, but as you say, might be with some development, he could be in a year.
So do you let him develop in the EPL, or do you let him develop on the men's team?
I would let him develop in the EPL or the higher levels of the other international leagues.
Oh, we got a yellow card on that.
And who got the yellow card?
For Marquez.
Marquez got the yellow card. Did he come off the field? Yes, he did. He's over there and being replaced.
There's not normal, I don't think. I don't think I've seen quite as much physicality in the past 3-4 years with Blue Ridge Solo games as I have tonight.
And it might have been one of those, the second guy got caught.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could have
Happens
been the
often.
Solo guy, and, it just happened. The second guy got caught. It happens. Okay.
Can we go?
Hey, on this last foul, the yellow card by Marquez, as soon as Marquez threw Marsh to the ground, Marsh popped right back up and got in his face. He was pretty fired up. Marquez got the yellow card, and on his way off the field, he decided to say something to the Sholo coach. Wasn't able to hear what that was. Sholo coach and Blue Ridge coach have had a conversation already in regard to that. Marquez not happy, and Coach Crane definitely not happy with Marquez. Kind of interesting with the game being out of hand that Marquez would foul someone and then kind of fly off the handle, but you want your guys to be competitors, and he's competing all the way to the end.
Well, I've had the pleasure of not only watching but also coaching Tanner Marsh for, really since he was in 6th grade. That was enthusiastic.
Yes,
Wasn't that Marquez right now? Didn't he take that kick?
Oh, I don't think so.
What? I thought that Marquez was 17.
Yeah, Marquez took that kick, and
So we have a different yellow card then.
Oh,
19.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm
Verdugo
sorry.
got the yellow card. Sorry, there's a correction there.
Because I was going to
Verdugo with the yellow.
So Tanner is a wrestler and is also doing speed strength training over at Lynn Johnson's over in Snowflake. And that's the same one that Dustin Gaskell did and went from being a solid player to being an exceptional player, and ultimately went and got a college scholarship out in Wyoming a couple years ago. And what a difference that speed strength training makes. He is fantastic. Did you go to him too as well?
I can contest to that. When Lynn Johnson first started that out, I was his
Guinea pig?
guinea pig,
All right.
I'd say. Me and Jared MacArthur, JoJo Murphy, all the older guys, dating myself now, of Sholo High School baseball. And he started that program up. It was up by Summit Healthcare now it is. We'd go there at 6 o'clock in the morning, work out for 2 hours, go to school. After practice, go see him again. That guy did wonders. I can still throw 90 miles an hour from Lynn Johnson. So.
And that's on your non-dominant hand.
Yeah, that's right. Either way, I'm ambidextrous. We can go, well, we'll probably say 85 from the left side, but 90 from the right side. Yeah. But no, what a great program. What he's put together with and he's not, he doesn't just work with Sholo people. He doesn't just work with, it's everybody.
Right.
Whoever wants to come there, he's going to give his time, and he's not biased.
Right.
So Lynn Johnson, great guy.
And those guys get injured, they can always go to Summit Healthcare.
With a fully staffed emergency department, an advanced diagnostics department, and outstanding orthopedic and physical therapy team, Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back into the game.
We're just under a minute here at Sholo Soccer Field. It's been a good night. Score still stands at 4-1 Blue Ridge. See if Sholo can come up with a little pride goal here, if you want to call it that.
Well, I suspect we'll be seeing certainly Blue Ridge, hopefully Sholo as well in that championship game, which will also be televised on the AIA 365 website. People can click in. That'll be on November 5th. And playoffs start for both these teams. There's a total of 8 teams that will go in. 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, et cetera, in the first round, and that'll be on the 28th, and then they come right back the next day on the 29th, and all the teams will be playing at 11 o'clock. So they're basically playing 2 games in, 18 hours, and then playing in the heat down in Phoenix. It's going to be tough.
And that does it here. Score stands 4-1 in favor of Blue Ridge. Real quick, I'd like to thank the kids from Sholo multimedia classes. It's the White Mountain Youth Productions crew. And we got the crew here. Technical director Isaiah Miller. Cameras, we got Kyler Race, Miss Jeffries, Jerry Butler, Antonio Solis, JC Nicholas, and our producers Stephanie Razago and Jerry Butler. You can watch replays of these games on Sholo TV, channel 58 on Monday and Fridays, 7 p.m., and Saturdays at 1:30 p.m. Help raise funds for these kids and their classes. Be a sponsor of White Mountain Sports and Sholo TV, and 100% of the money is donated to the White Mountain Youth Productions Group that goes directly to the classes in Sholo. And then you get a free 15-second ad on Sholo before and after the game.
You know, really a shout out to them. Shout out to them.
This wouldn't be possible.
All the technical problems that we had related to, we had some, what you guys did not know in the background is we had some power-related issues. They ended up having to go to generator, and it caused some hiccups certainly in the computers and with our internet service. So overcoming, fantastic job on that crew.
I mean, they got us on here, and thank you for everybody out there listening. I'm glad we could be here tonight,
right,
even if you're not.
Thanks to Camden for putting this on.
Thank you all. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Heber and Sholo, Sunrise Park Resort, Northland Pioneer College, Summit Regional Medical Center, Beeler Orthodontics, Subway, Deemer's Glass, the Indian Pine Restaurant at Honda, Octopus Car Wash, Black Diamond Auto Glass, and Native Grill and Wings. Sholo Ford on the east end of Deuce.
Well, to wrap that up, that was definitely a good showing by Blue Ridge. You know, those who watched it, those who listened to it, you probably had the same feel, but in person, they're a faster team.
Man, they're quick, and obviously, I mean, honestly speaking, this is the first time I've seen. I watched Sholo a couple preseason, a couple other games, and they routed teams. But this is first time I've seen Blue Ridge, and man, they're impressive. Now, with that being said, I don't think the score necessarily, you know, tells the outcome of the game. You know, it's 4-1. It looks bad on the spreadsheet, but I don't know. It was a good competition.
Shola found their legs at second half. They really
just
seemed
too late almost.
And it was, but I think going into playoffs, it's going to be interesting because once again, you've got that confidence level, and particularly with a really, really young team. I think that's going to. This game is really going to let them roll into playoffs with a lot more confidence. When you play again, was it a 1-1 second half or was it a 1-0 second half? 1-0 second half on Sholo's side.
I think so.
And I would say the play was pretty equal.
I thought so.
So we'll see if they can come out with that confidence. They've always been kind of a slow starting team. I know Coach has rallied them in the past. Dr. Paxman, you were assistant coach for that team for a couple years, correct?
I was assistant coach for Sholo for the last 3 years, and about 10 or 11 years for Blue Ridge prior to that. Last time I saw Sholo play was against Snowflake, and Sholo demonstrated some awesome, mind-boggling speed that was pretty much negated today by Blue Ridge. And I think that kind of shows to the organization of their defense, but also the athleticism of their team.
Yeah. Their defensive mids were outstanding on Blue Ridge's side today.
Yeah, I'd like to almost think that I think Blue Ridge held the possession, though, tonight, and shots on goal. So, I mean, that shows in the score as well. Like we said, second half, Sholo did make some adjustments, but at the end of the day, Blue Ridge comes out on top, and there's a reason they're number one team.
There is. Now, the question is, they scored off of, what, 2 goals or 3 goals off of set plays?
I believe 2, yeah.
Maybe you could say questionable penalty. Regardless, that's how they scored, and Coach Crane has done a good job on creating the set plays, but what a leg. What a leg.
The first time I saw Alberto Marquez was last year that I recall seeing him that made a significant impact on what I perceived of him was in the championship game, Sholo versus Blue Ridge last year, or the semifinal game. And he, my jaw just dropped open watching some of the kicks he can make. I think he's definitely one of those people that can go on to the next level. I hope he has the opportunity to do so, because he's a very impressive young man.
Academically, do you know?
I have no clue. I moved away out to Taylor, and so I don't have as much contact with him. I know some of the boys still on the Blue Ridge team, but I'm not familiar with Alberto Marquez.
So you being a Division I baseball player, and you being around this as long as you have and seeing as many players go up to the next level as you have, give me some ideas of some of your seniors, sophomores, juniors that have got potential to go to the next level. The reason I bring this up is because in Sholo's last 5 years, I believe they've had 4 full ride scholarship players. I'm not sure on the Blue Ridge side. I know they had one kid that went up to Concordia and Moorhead, of all places, my hometown.
Hey, you.
Right. Go Cougars. And I'm just kind of curious. What do you think in terms of other players that are? I think certainly Leif Brosman. Brosman. Sorry.
Leif is the third of the brothers of the Brosman family, and all of them have demonstrated excellent skills out on the field. The problem is, and I'm not trying to be sexist here, but with Proposition 48, there's not near as many male soccer programs out there as there are female soccer programs. And so there are opportunities, but it's difficult for these young men to get those opportunities, especially coming from a school in a rural area that we're 3 hours from Phoenix, a major metropolitan area. They have a hard time being seen by other coaches and other scouts, where the people in the metropolitan areas are easier to find. So quite often they don't get the opportunity to play at the big schools, so they sometimes have to play at the smaller schools. But as you pointed out, you don't go to college to play soccer, you play soccer to go to college, and the most important thing is to get an education.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I owe everything to education. Shout out to my mom. I mean, she helped me out, obviously, but you know, I had the skill, but at the same time, it was the same question every time. How are your grades? Let me see your transcripts. You could have the most skill in the world, but if you can't get into the school, literally, then you can't play. So it's huge. It's very important. And so, and once you get to that next level, I mean, the game's faster and stuff like that, but the schooling's also tougher, everything like that. But it's set up nice. I was blessed with, tutors, everything like that. So it is possible, But at the same time, I started at a junior college. I went to junior college here, local, and that's where I started out. And then luckily I was able to go to a Division I college. But I wouldn't have got to that D1 without my grades at my junior college. So it goes hand in hand. It's obviously very important. But like you were saying, how much does club tie into those sort of things to where that, you know what, I'm good. I'm really good. I don't want to go to school. I'm just going to go play club. How easy is that? You see the 18 and under teams, the 20 and under teams, you can't, are all those guys going to college? I don't know the soccer world like you guys per se, but how many of those people or kids are in college? Or are they making money for club teams, national team, I mean, how does that work?
Well, I'll take another step, even in high school. Here in Arizona, Casa Grande has an academy for Real Salt Lake. And the Casa Grande program, those boys go to soccer practice in the morning. They go to school at the charter school for several hours. They come back, practice, they have dinner, practice again, study, and go to bed. And these are high school kids.
That almost sounds, that's a professional, I mean, that's not a collegiate, itinerary. I mean,
you're not bringing, and that's what unfortunately some of these kids are competing against. But in all fairness, all those kids went to either D1 schools or they got professional contracts. But I do see enough talent out here, I think.
But that's what they do overseas.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people say. In our country, we send our athletes to college, but in soccer, they find and identify these kids sometimes as early as 6 or 7 years old and develop them in these academies in order to present them, to make to the next level, where we don't do that in this country.
So can I insert my joke about Messe and growth hormone here? I mean, because we could do some growth hormone around here, right?
Or lack of.
We're close enough to Mexico that we could pick it up if we needed to. I could have been a baller.
But no, I not to discount education. Obviously, baseball paid for my education. I came out of school debt-free. There's not a lot of people that can say that. But I got the quote-unquote full ride, if you can call it that. But I was able to get my schooling paid for by playing a game. You know what I mean? And that's what this is. It is a life to some people, but at the same time, you are playing a game. And go out, if you can get your college paid for, hey, kudos, man. Good for you. I would love to see everybody get that done.
Right. Well, what's leading Blue Ridge right now, Marcus Zocker, if I pronounce that right, Brosman, have certainly looked like they're the part. Burgess looks like he could certainly step in and go off to college and play. Jordy Barth, although I know he's going to head off to the military, certainly looks like he has that capacity, has the speed. And I'm excited to see Garrett continue to grow.
Yes, continue to grow. I think that's the other thing is we have to identify those places, because sometimes we go to these colleges we haven't heard of. It might be a small college up in Minnesota. There's a school called Baker University, I think it's in Kansas, that I've known several kids have gone to and played, and there's those opportunities out there. Sometimes it's just having to find the opportunity to get the athlete and the school to meet together. I think if you're trying to develop these players, I think academy's good, but I still think that college is better, because a lot of these kids, I think, have unrealistic expectations of going on and playing professionally, and they really need to get their education, whether it's soccer or any other sport.
Well, that's what you can always have. You can always fall back on an education. We see people like Larry Fitzgerald. We see other people like that. They got an education to something to fall back on. NFL, I know I'm bringing up American football, but NFL, it stands not for National Football League. It stands for not for long.
Yeah.
So you never know when you could be the very first play of your rookie year, but you blow a knee out. It's the same thing in soccer. You blow a knee out, and what do you do? And so that's why, like we talked about, education is very important. It really is. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but at the same time, you need to have something to fall back on. You can't guarantee millions and millions and millions of dollars. You know what I mean? So you need something to fall back on. Get an education, and I'm not discounting the academies or anything. That's great. I wish we would have had that when I was younger. You know what I mean? Playing club stuff and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm glad I pushed hard on my academics, because now I have a degree. It got paid for, and I'm living just fine.
Right.
So.
And didn't Fitzgerald just finish up his degree?
He did, from
like a year ago. I read
yeah,
that.
you see those commercials running where his mom is deceased, but he still calls her and says, "Hey, Mom, I got my degree." That commercial, and that touches me every time, to where that you see it more and more, to where that if they ever have strikes and stuff, players unions and all that stuff gets involved. You can't rely on that. So. Education, you can literally go into the workforce with a degree, and I know it's just a piece of paper, but it does mean a lot.
Right. So to wrap this up, impressions.
Well, like I said, I'll start here. I haven't seen Blue Ridge. Man, they're fast, they're aggressive, they flow to the ball. The communication, like you were talking about, it goes back to that club thing. They play club stuff, and it's just like I'm trying to think of the word, but they just mesh well together. Mm-hmm. They know where everybody's at. It almost looked like Sholo at times was confused. They were just, for lack of a better phrase, kicking balls. Right. They were just kicking the ball around.
Panicking.
Yeah, panic if you want to say that. But Blue Ridge, they were cohesive, and they stayed together. They didn't panic, and obviously the score reflects that too. 4 goals is, it's nice and everything like that. A couple penalties here and there, whatever. But at the same time, my impression of Blue Ridge is their reason they're number 1, and I believe it.
Right.
I think the word, after listening to you, the word comes to my mind is discipline. I think they were very disciplined in what they did. Yes, a couple times I saw some of the Sholo players doing things that I didn't think that was not a smart move. They kicked the ball just to kick the ball, not to make it pass, not to do something with it, just to get rid of it. And I think sometimes they didn't play as smart as they could have, where I think that the Blue Ridge team was more disciplined. I think that there's some definite talent on both sides of the ball, but they might have just been a little bit more disciplined in what they were doing.
Well, disciplined like the glass installation, Mountain Auto.
Yeah, well, everybody's disciplined.
Mountain Mobile, I apologize.
Mountain Mobile's disciplined. There's a lot of Black Diamond Auto Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. There's a lot of game changers up here in the glass world. Go check them out. Obviously, I'm a little biased for Black Diamond Auto Glass. I don't know if I can say that or not.
I think you just did.
I think I did. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. Those guys know what they're doing. Trust them, regardless of who you go with. It's a great time out there. They're doing things right. So, but other than that, not to discount Sholo here tonight. Obviously, on their home field, it's tough to lose here. Great night out here. It was a little chilly, but they didn't give up. They didn't roll over. They didn't they kept fighting hard.
Like I said,
you know
I think
what I mean? And you could tell that from, the yellow on Marsh, or it wasn't on Marsh, but in the later stages of the game, they're still fired up.
Right.
They still, and like it goes back to the rivalry game, to where that Shoal and Blue Ridge is nothing to mess with.
I really think that that second half they started to get their legs. They started to understand that they belong, that they deserve to be at this level. And it'll be interesting to see if they get a chance to play again this year. If they don't, it'll be unfortunate. But what a game if they do.
I think so. A little bit warmer weather. You're going to be a little bit more loose. I know you're running around and stuff, but, I mean, soccer is kind of stagnant in some points where you're just, kind of hanging out for a little bit. It might be on their end for a long time, and then you got to bust a move. But, they get down there in the turf fields, things are going to be quicker. They're going to be faster. So I'm excited to see where both teams go from here.
Right. Well, in my opinion, I think that Blue Ridge certainly has the ability to settle balls perhaps better than any high school team I've seen at this point, short of getting up into the upper levels of down at Phoenix. Of course, the club teams are a little different, but they settle the ball extremely well. I think their passing, you don't see bounces, you see rolling balls. Very manageable, very able to settle to the guy running next to them, do 1-2s for those non-soccer players, basically a give and go in the basketball world. And it showed. They did a real good job. Maybe we can give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors real quick.
We'd like to thank Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Heber and Sholo, Sunrise Park Resort, Northland Pioneer College, Summit Regional Medical Center, Beeler Orthodontics, Subway, Deemer's Glass, the Indian Pine Restaurant at Honda, Octopus Car Wash, Black Diamond Auto Glass, and Native Grill and Wings. And our Sholo Ford here on the east end of the Deuce of Clubs.
As cold as it is, I suspect we should all be getting up to the mountain, trying to get those ski passes, because it feels like it's going to come pretty quick.
I already bought my season pass.
Wow.
I already bought it.
That's a long drive.
They still
for
got
you.
some. It is. It's not that bad from Payson. It's a nice little drive.
2.5 hours.
It's worth it. To go up Sunrise is Great Mountain. And I'm excited for this season.
Right.
See.
Well, we want to thank Rob Hummer for being our sideline man. He certainly got that background of being a passionate soccer man. You can't quite see him. He's just a little bit off camera, giving us a nice grin. But we certainly want to thank him for staying as warm as he could on that sideline. And to wrap it up, this has been a presentation of Sholo Ford High School Soccer on iTalk 106.7. And we certainly thank our sponsors again, and we thank Camden for helping us present this.